Let's throw some jabs.
The fight starts now!
Sergio, Gervonta Davis is back in action this weekend when he takes on Mario Barrios. Davis, of course, one of the most popular fighters in the lower weight classes, one of the biggest punchers in the lower weight classes, but he has been criticized for his choice of opponents in recent years. So I'll ask you this, does Davis deserve criticism for these opponents?
No, he does not, but that's boxing for you. He has 24 wins, 23 by knockout, and just because the tank is making solid opponents look average or soft, that's not his problem. He's doing what he needs to do as a world champion, a two-division world champion. Yes, we want him to be facing the big dogs at lightweight, the Teofimo Lopez, the Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, even the hard-hit Linares after his last fight. But if they're not available for whatever reason, promotional obligations or whatever the reason, I'm happy with Mario Barrios. He's going to be taller. He's going to be rangier. He's going to be motivated for this title opportunity. And he has Virgil Hunter in his corner. I just think all the stars are aligned for something special. That's a dangerous opponent. So by saying Tank Davis is taking soft opposition, that's crazy. Hell no.
That's not crazy. In fact, it is 100% true. The best win on Tank Davis's resume is Jose Pedraza. That came back in 2017.
What?
Since then, who is his next best win? Is it Yorkis Gamboa, who Davis somewhat struggled with? Is it Leo Santa Cruz, a blown-up 126-pounder who everybody that's watched Santa Cruz will acknowledge was at the very end or the tail end of his career? What does the resume say? And Tank Davis, you bring up promotional issues and politics of boxing. Tank Davis is popular. Tank Davis can bring the top fighters over to his side of the street if he really wants to fight him. And at 135, there is Ryan Garcia. There is Teofimo Lopez. There's Devin Haney. All three of those guys would happily agree to a deal to fight Tank Davis. Instead, he's moving up to 140 pounds to fight a guy that most people have not heard of. This fight, I don't really understand this fight. Like, Barrios, I agree, is dangerous. He's a big 140 who was on his way to 147 before this Davis opportunity came up. So it's dangerous and it's very low reward as well. But up until this point, if you look at some of the top fighters that are out there at 130 and 135, Tank's resume is probably the worst. I know the guys made their list of the top 130 pounders on the show yesterday. Tank Davis at number one? What are we doing here? Like, Oscar Valdez just beat Miguel Berchelt. His resume is better than Tank Davis's. I could argue Shakur's resume is better than Tank Davis. I don't understand. I think Tank Davis is a lot of fun to watch, and he drives ratings, and he drives pay-per-views. But if you look at his resume and you think that's a strong resume, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, you need to go back to 2017 when he faced back-to-back undefeated fighters. And in 2018, he picked up another world title. And in 2019 and 20, he beat two former world champions that you don't give credit for. But if you look at that resume, compare the wins and losses, which I do, I mean, that's how you compare who he's fighting, whether he's fighting soft opposition or tougher opposition. And two former champions that, even though they were smaller, it's the way he's taking them out by knockout. If he struggled with them, you thought he struggled a little bit with Gamboa just because he didn't knock him out earlier, but he still knocked him out. If he would have went the distance, I would have agreed with you. No, I just think you look at the numbers. He's not facing the big stars. He's not facing the guys that we want him to face, but the next ones in line, the ones that are still difficult that you could look bad against or have a bad day against, yeah, I think he's doing that. I just think he needs to be stepping it up a little bit more in name value, but I'm not complaining.
Who are you talking about with these former world champions, top-level opposition? And you got to stop fooling the audience here, Sergio. Tank Davis has won one world title. One. And that was when he was at 130 pounds, the IBF belt. Since then, they've all been basically manufactured belts, including the one that he's scheduled to fight for at 140 pounds on Saturday. The entire world knows that Josh Taylor is the undisputed champion at 140 pounds. This belt is meaningless. It is a hubcap title. So, Sergio, if you want to do this, we can do this. Like, you go down the list. Who's got the best resume at 135, 130 pounds? Does Tank Davis have a better resume than, say, Teofimo Lopez? Does he have a better resume than Oscar Valdez? You tell me. You can't just say his resume is good. Compare it to other guys. Tell me he's got a better resume than all those guys. Tell me that.
Well, let's look back. Let's look back when he fought Jose Pedraza, undefeated. Liam Walsh, undefeated. Francisco Fonseca, undefeated. Come on, man, back to back to back. You got to give him credit. All three by knockout. That's what I mean. If you're not looking at those records and those numbers, and you're just looking at what he should be doing, then that's the problem. Do I agree he's the number one active lightweight? No. Do I think he's one of the best punchers out there? Yes. And he's exciting? Yes. Does he sell? Absolutely. Can he be fighting better opposition? We always can, but he's not right now, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and that is why he deserves, this brings it back to the original question. That is why he deserves criticism. To me, what Tank Davis is doing and what Al Heyman is doing and Mayweather Promotions is doing is that they're waiting for a meaningful fight to emerge on the PBC side of the street. That's what drives me crazy. You can make fights between Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney or Teofimo Lopez. You can make them. You just have to work with other promoters and work potentially with other networks. If Tank Davis beats Barrios, what do you think he's going to do next? What's his next fight? Where do you think he's going to go?
I think he's going to be calling out the guys that are calling out him, the Devin Haney's and the Ryan Garcias.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. Of course he's not. No, he's not. Like the Ryan Garcia thing.
He's going to have to. He's going to have to.
All right,
I'll be criticizing.
Why does he have to? Like, why does he have to now and not 6 months ago? Why now? Why is this the point? I mean, he's going up to 140, a weight class that, frankly, I don't think he has much business in because he's a smaller fighter. You think he's really going to call out Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez? Teofimo Lopez, Sergio, is right there for him. Like, Teofimo and Bob Arum would make a deal to do a fight against Tank Davis. The undisputed lightweight championship is available to him, and he doesn't seem to be at all interested in it. You don't have a problem with that?
Let's remember a little thing called 2020 when no one could fight, no fans in the stands. We're barely getting back to normal. That's what everyone was waiting for. I think, this is what I believe, I truly believe, Tank Davis is going to have a huge fight with one of the names you just mentioned by the end of this year. Mario Barrios is an excellent step up. He's an undefeated fighter. He's going to have height, reach. He's going to have everything to give him a tough fight. Do I think Tank beats him? Yes. Do I think he knocks him out? No. It's going to be a good fight leading into the next fight. And if he does not fight, Tank does not fight and mow down someone in the end of the year like a Ryan Garcia or a Devin Haney, maybe even a Jorge Linares who had a good performance, then I'll be criticizing him with you. Until then, absolutely not. I'm riding the Tank train.
Well, Sergio, we have not seen Callum Smith since he lost a lopsided decision to Canelo Alvarez last December. When Callum returns, he plans to return as a 175-pounder. So I'll ask you this. Can Callum Smith win a world title at light heavyweight?
Yes, I believe he can because he has the height to fill out that weight and distribute that weight and that mass evenly. I mean, he was a huge 168-pounder, and at 175, at 6'3.5", 75-inch reach, he's still going to be a huge light heavyweight. Now, it's going to be matchmaking. That's an excellent science that you have to follow, and timing. I don't think he should be facing an Artur Beterbiev, but I think he can compete with a Bivol. I think he could probably beat a Joe Smith Jr. who just won a world title, and I think an excellent mega fight in the future, or maybe not mega fight, but a big fight, Zurdo Ramirez, who's very popular Mexican fighter. All these fights make sense. All these fights are championship material, and I think with the exclusion of Beterbiev, I don't think no one beats him right now. Yes, I think he can pick up a title at 175.
Yeah, this was a natural decision for Callum Smith because, as you said, he is a huge 168-pounder. Now he doesn't have to squeeze all the way down to super middleweight, can let himself go and be a little bit more, I think, fresh at 175. And I think he can beat everybody there, including Artur Beterbiev. I mean, Beterbiev is tough, don't get me wrong, but Vodzik was outboxing, arguably, Beterbiev before Beterbiev tracked him down and stopped him in that big fight a couple of years ago. So I think that Callum Smith has the boxing ability to hang with him. I think Bivol actually might be his toughest fight because Bivol is an expert boxer with an excellent chin. But this is a smart move by Callum Smith. I mean, he can put himself right there in the mix for a mega fight, a big money fight, very quickly. You mentioned Zurdo Ramirez. Zurdo is on track to fight for a world title at some point, probably in the next 6 to 8 months. If he gets one, that's a very good fight, either in the US or in the UK. So I love this move for Callum Smith, and I think he's going to be very successful at 175.
I do too, and then he's going to pick up that experience that he, even though it was a one-sided fight with Canelo, he experienced the mega fight, the mega event, and he didn't have enough time to prepare. I mean, afterwards, we all can pick apart, well, what happened, what went wrong. But if he really only had 2 to 3 weeks to prepare for that huge fight with Canelo, that kind of answers a lot of questions of why he didn't let his hands go like he normally does. But that's neither here or there. He lost to the best fighter in the world in Canelo. So I think he should heal from his bicep, come back hungry and motivated to fight one of these names we just mentioned.
Yeah, still reasonably popular over in the UK. Still plenty of talent in him. We saw that winning the World Boxer Super Series, beating George Groves. Like you said, he got beat by the pound for pound #1. No shame in that game. He'll bounce back, and I think he'll bounce back really well.